Working with a wall and a chair are two of my favorite props, and this is one of my favorite sequences. Standing with my feet a few inches in front of the wall, I bend my elbows and I cut my fingertips on the wall, and I gently draw down my fingertips and I lengthen my spine. Take a big breath in and out, and one more. I move my right foot back, I turn my toes, and my heel is on the wall, but my foot is slightly turned. I take a giant step with my other foot. I also, again, find my balance. So I draw my fingertips down the wall and I lengthen my spine. I bring my hands then to the two sides of my pelvis. I want to keep both sides of my pelvis even. So I'm going to spill my pelvis into my hands, pressing the sitting bones to the wall. I keep a softness in my knee so that I don't hyperextend it, and then I bring my wrists under my shoulders and I lengthen my spine. I press my sitting bones towards the wall and I draw my torso forward and I breathe. And I breathe. To create more weight in my back leg, I actually might lift my front foot up a couple times to say, all right, don't put all the weight on the forward foot, equal weight on both feet. So when it comes down, I close my eyes and I find what equal weight feels like on both feet. I then open my eyes and I creep that front foot forward so that the shin is touching the chair. I'm in a high lunge. I then slide my fingers back. I come to my pelvis. I bring it upright so that my pubic bone and my tailbone are on the same level. The two sides of my pelvis are facing forward, and I breathe one arm up. And then I breathe the other, and I'm in warrior one, and I lengthen my breath. Lifting my ribs away from my pelvis, taking another breath, opening the arms wide, bringing the hands down onto the seat of the chair, I straighten my front leg. I take my thumb to the top of the front thigh and going into a revolved triangle, I turn towards that front leg, keeping both sides of my pelvis level, and then I take the arm out to the side. I lift from the front of my chest, I open the arm, and I gaze upward and breathe. And breathe. And breathe. One more round of breath, and then another, and then I let the hand come down. I soften my knee, and I take my hand to line it up with the front leg. My back hand on the side of the pelvis, I turn my foot sideways on the wall, and then I straighten that front leg, open the ribs, and take the arm up, and I'm in triangle. I gaze up at my thumb. I bring my back fingers to the wall, I bend my front knee, and I stretch my front arm out, and I'm in warrior two. My back arm comes to the thigh, I revolve it, I take the arm up, and I look up and breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Coming back, I windmill my hands, I bring my foot back so it's touching the wall. I slide my hands forward and I come into warrior three, making sure both sides of the pelvis are even. And now my leg is not touching the chair. I take my thumb to the top of my front thigh and I go into a revolved half moon. I look over the back shoulder and I take my arm up and breathe. And I take another breath and breathe. I bring the arm down. And then I turn my back foot on its side. I drag it back. I line up my foot. I open my chest and I come in to half moon. I gaze up at my thumb and breathe. And one more breath. And then I take the hands to the pelvis. I turn and rotate my thigh so it's going downward. My foot is going downward. And I soften my knee. I step that foot back. I bring my hands back. Both heels I get at the wall. I bring my thighs up the wall and I lengthen into downward dog. And I line up my feet parallel and breathe. And breathe. And breathe. I lift my gaze. I slide my hands forward. I bring my torso forward. I lift my chest. I come to the top of my feet into upward dog and I gaze up, opening my chest. I curl my toes back. I slide my hands back. And I come back into my downward dog. And I lengthen my spine. And I breathe. And I breathe. And I breathe. I gaze at the chair. I walk my feet forward. I make sure my feet are parallel. My thighs are back. I find the back of the chair. I lift my gaze. I come through chair pose, Utkatasana, all the way up to upward hands. I lift my gaze. I open my